Are you looking for a faster video? Well, today it's a live stream, and I know you're probably looking for a really nice and tidy, edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Hi again. How's it going? You didn't think I'd follow through, did you? You didn't think that I would actually go live twice in one day, did you? How's it going? I think someone just knocked on my door. I'm gonna ignore him. All right, so we cut out the Annie cardigan this morning, but I have been working on this laundry basket pattern, and I just really want to finish it. So, hi Summer, how's it going? How are you? Is this a better time for you? It's a kind of later in the day, so I know that some folks probably work during the day, and I know that's just kind of hard to make it. So anyway, I'm going to be, if you've been following along, I'm making this laundry basket, not a hamper, a basket, something that I can carry my laundry clean upstairs. And I wanted to make a sewn version of it because why not? Yeah, exactly, Summer. Yeah. So sometimes when I have this project I want to get done, it's kind of running at the same time as my live stream schedule. And this is my personal project. So because I've been so busy, I feel like, all right, I'm going to make streams out of it so that I can get it done, because it's the only way I can get it done sometimes is if I'm with you. Nello! I'm always going to giggle when I see that, Nancy. So for this basket, some of the attributes that I wanted was to be able to carry it up my stairs with one hand, or one arm, so that I'm not holding the basket, because sometimes I'm carrying a glass of water. And I also will have my phone, my glasses, a bowl of ice cream, whatever it is. I'm usually, making some trips. So, oh, that's so funny, Summer. Yes, Hannah, yes. So I did that, and I kind of modeled it after the basket that's falling apart, but I also made it a little taller. I put a pocket on there. I think someone was right in suggesting that. I think it'll be kind of handy. And I put stiffener on the bottom and stiffener only around the top edge, which is going to have a facing. And it's going to also kind of fold in quarters and flat, and I'm going to be able to hang it upside down on the wall, so it's kind of, out of the way. This is going to be a free pattern I will put on the Patreon for the tier 2s and tier 3s. And it won't be like one of my polished, professionally edited and graphically oriented, patterns, but it'll still be totally good, and you'll get a video and everything to show it. So he's scrolling Facebook instead of folding laundry. Yeah. I'll do that with things as well. I think we all can relate to that, Summer. I hate it when, and I'm sure you don't even need to hear this from me, I hate it when I go for one thing to oh, I need to check that, and then I get sidetracked. And then I'm like, what am I doing? Surfing, whatever. I need to get back to what I'm doing. And then I'm like, shoot, I needed that thing. I needed that number or that fabric or whatever. And then I have to go back and then I get stuck in the same vortex. It's like this endless loop. So, okay. So let's see. I cut this out yesterday, right? So let's see what I have here. I need to kind of reorient myself. There's only 2 main pattern pieces for the body of the bag. I'm lining mine as well. But if you had stiff enough fabric, you wouldn't have to. And let's see, there's a facing and then a pocket. But, you know, I added stiffener in the bottom, stiffener here. That's what that is. It's kind of curvy, like a potato chip. So we have this pocket. And I don't even know where I'm putting this pocket quite yet. It's quite a bit of fabric. Here's the hook. So my idea is that while I want my laundry stacks, so the dryer is the one on top. You get rabbit holes. You know, Summer, I was looking at ADHD and I think I fall in that category, and that really shocked me because I'm such a overachiever. And I didn't think that, like, I'm not saying that ADHD people aren't overachievers. I'm just saying the fact that I am super focused and I'm like really like, I need to get everything done. But I didn't realize some of the other attributes. And so I thought that was really fascinating to be able to like relate to that so well, you know. I think about all the things, like this is what one of the life lessons I've personally had to learn is just because you have an idea, you don't have to act on it. Like I have so many ideas and some of them are probably really great, but I'll probably never get to them, and that's okay. And I also have lots of bad ideas that, you know, I might act on and I might not. So, you know, it's like dial it back. All right. These must be my handles. All right. So we'll do that and we'll sew. This is the, what is this? This is to hold the hook. So this is my idea. Talk about ADHD. I want to be able to pull everything out of the dryer and plop it into my basket, right? But now that it's a soft bag that could collapse on itself, I want to make sure that that won't hinder that, because that'll just frustrate me. That's the kind of thing that would really frustrate me, is if I can't get the stuff into the basket. And right now I just can pull it out and it drops into the basket on the floor. But with this hook, I can just hold one end of the bag, hook the other end of the bag to the lip of the dryer, and then I'll be able to pull it. Now, if you don't have a stacking, this doesn't really make a difference for you, right? So, and then I also have this little loop I'm going to sew at the bottom of the bag so it can hang upside down. So, oh, that's so funny, Summer. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I think that people who are labeled ADHD, you only hear these really negative connotations for it, and it's so unfair, you know? And it's interesting because every time I've heard it explained, I'm like when someone's saying it negatively, I'm like, why is that so negative, you know? Like, especially towards kids. So, let's see here. Order of operations. Sometimes when I have a brand new pattern, I'm so glad to be over here streaming, by the way. I love sitting at my machine and streaming. Hello, Dorothy. Welcome. So when I have a new pattern or something, even if it's something I didn't make, but mostly when it's something I make, I generally know the order of operations, but at the same time, I'm usually also kind of thinking about the most optimal, quickest, fastest, cheapest way to sew it, and also the most painless way to sew it. Always, with almost any pattern, you want to kind of assemble all the little pieces that aren't like the overall object, right? So if you have patch pockets, you make the patch pockets, you put the patch pockets on. That's not the overall object that the patch pockets are going onto. So it's kind of different with like an inseam pocket. You kind of do that further along in the process. But something like this, like I have these hooks and handles and loops and pockets. I'm just going to assemble these things because it kind of gets me in the groove of thinking about how I want these to go together. And so the first thing I'm going to do actually is make my handles. And so this handle is going to hold my hook on, and this is the handle, the strap I'm going to carry the bag with. And then this is the pocket. So let's iron these. We'll get these ready. This fabric looks so good under the camera. I love it when that happens. Let me move the microphone, sorry. And let me move this guy. All right, so the way I love to make, when I make my own handle, this is the way I like to do it. Why is my microphone drooping so much? I think it might be time, you guys, to get a new arm to hold that and a new camera over the iron. This one is, it still works, like it's fine, but something's up with it. And it's the one that has the tape on it. All right, so when I don't use webbing, because I've used thousands of yards of webbing, and that's great, but I didn't want that look for this bag, so I make the handle. What I'm going to do is fold it down the center. So this was cut 4 inches by 18 inches. So I want this handle to finish 1 inch wide, like 1 inch webbing would. Yes, this is a lot of fabric to do for one inch webbing would just be the little strip of webbing, right? But it looks so good. So you're going to iron it down the middle. And then we don't have to sew and turn this right side out. It's great. This is how Noodlehead does it. I love this. I love this method. We'll just do all these. Same with this. I'm using an Essex linen for the lining, you know, because it's a laundry bag, right? And it needs to be decadent. And now you're going to fold it to the fold. Fold to the fold. You want to be kind of precise about this, but you know, don't sweat it. And then fold it all again. And now all you got to do is edge stitch it and it's done. And it feels really good. You want the fabric to fill it up so you don't have a ridge on the inside. You know what I mean? You paid for a one-on-one. And oh, do you mean that's all she covered? I mean, that's good information, right? She went over basic info on fabric, needles, and everything you know before you make a cut. Yeah, I mean, wait, what are you trying to say? I want to be on your side. I mean, if you only got one lesson and that's all they covered, that's not a sewing lesson at all. That is a lesson on how to prepare for a sewing project. I'm trying to get much better about, you know, making my uploaded videos and just live as well focused, right? And I do have that trouble. I mean, it's no surprise you noticed and recognized that in me, Summer, because it's easy to get on a tangent because maybe one thought will lead to another and another idea. And what I like to say is, you know, you got to boil it down to the lowest common denominator. And sometimes I have to say, is this really pertinent to the overall topic? It's interesting, but it's also adding 3 minutes to the video. And video shorter is better, you know? I'm also really, I'm really good at people, like understanding people and how they interact and like communication and all that. And there's a lot of times where that is one thing I can excel at. I'm like, wait a minute, let's boil this down, you know? Let's get to the heart of the problem. All right, this is my pocket. This isn't like a pocket I'm going to put my hand in. It's probably a pocket I'm going to put my glasses in or my black licorice, right? I love this fabric. You see the fake linen print on it. I love how that looks. This is the Cypress Cotton Canvas from Spoonflower. It's not my design. It's by Nouveau Bohemian on Spoonflower. All right, so we have all these ironed. I normally never would have ironed this, except you guys keep me honest. Oh, so you paid for that specific thing? That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's so funny, Summer. I'm actually in the middle of recording a video on how to pick out a pattern in fabric, because I feel like that is a very, my machine's not even on. That is a very underrated aspect of picking the project for success. It's not underrated. It's not something I talk about when it's actually so important to the success of the project. That's what I should say. All right, I'm trying to keep some timestamps. I missed one. So now we're gonna sew handles, blah, blah, blah. And it says 16. I'm already 16:14 into the video. So now I have this, where am I? I'm trying to keep timestamps so I don't have to ask you guys to do it. All right, so we're just gonna sew along both long sides. Where's my little sample fabric? Oh, okay. I see how it is. What the heck? Well, that's weird. Let's just hope everything's good then. I'm looking at my machine. So I'm noticing, because I have these really squishy rugs, that my machine vibrates under the camera, and it's really annoying. Hey, Sonia, how's it going? You're a very good greeter, Summer, and I really appreciate it. So when I sew down long, narrow strips like this, I like to sew from the same end to the same end. So if I started from the top and went to here, I start at this end and go to here. In other words, I don't flip it over. Like, what the most efficient way in production would be, you go down this way, turn it, go down this way, right? But then you can kind of get some torquing across your fabric. We don't have to worry about efficiency when we're only sewing one or two. And to be honest, in production, if flipping it and starting back at the other end is going to prevent any other issues later on, I would do it. I would get rid of the split second time savings to ensure success. Okay, we have our pocket. And this will be the hook. And I wanted this little tether to be long enough to where it can, you know, because it'll be hanging off the basket, so then it can turn 90 degrees and hook onto the dryer. I'm live again. What was your main reason, Nancy? I remember you and I did that at the same time. I just went live again, Eliza. I really want my laundry basket. So hopefully if you've ironed your handles, the edge is right on top of the other edge, and you can just sew straight down, not worry about a thing. I can see a little of the edge of the underside, and that really doesn't bug me. I mean, you know, I'm not a robot. Is it vibrating? Yeah, I understand that whole being afraid to cut into things, and I have a pep talk for that if you want it. But you just paid someone for one of those, so maybe you just want to be here and chill. Oops. I thought about looking up, and then I went, oh man. Womp womp. Look at how nice these are. See? Oh yeah, to put yes. Nancy's absolutely right, Summer. It isn't the cheapest way to go, but she's absolutely right. I mean, Needle Sharp does an incredible job of putting together the pattern and the fabric, and you're guaranteed like that the fabric she picks is going to go with the pattern she picks, and you get everything. All right, I need a scrap piece of fabric, and I'm really shocked I lost my little thing that I sew on. All right. It's almost as important as having my little scissors. Pep talk. No. Okay, my pep talk. It's a twofold. Wait, let me make sure I got this curve on here, and I put that in there, right? Okay. Is two things. One is backup plan, and two is don't make it precious. So for the backup plan, sometimes if I'm a little nervous about getting started on something and I'm just like, what if I mess up? What's my backup plan? So I try and come up with something that kind of soothes myself so that I feel better about moving forward, you know? And so I guess what I mean by that is, okay, if I cut this out and I make a mistake, what am I going to do what can I do to fix this? Do I have more fabric? Would I turn it into something else? You know, those are kind of extreme things. Like, I doubt that you're going to cut something out and it's going to be horribly wrong. But, you know, I think giving yourself these kind of self-reassurances, and I call this self-soothing. 24/5 hypnotic. Exactly. So I think self-soothing is really key in lots of aspects of life. This is when Sarah gets philosophical and toxic as counselor. But it is really true. So it's like, if you're like, for me, you know, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I have to go to my friend's party. This was going to be so fun. And then I'm like, this isn't going to be fun. What if I say something wrong? What if I do this? What if nobody really wants to talk to me? What if that one person that I don't think really likes me is there? What if my food isn't very good? What if they don't have anything to eat? What if it's only treats? What if it's only this? What if it's all gone and I'm starving? What if everyone's drinking and I don't want to go drinking? You know, I mean, like, literally, you guys, that's me. And so I have to self-soothe myself. And sometimes I make it as basic as, you can pull up to the house and leave and don't go, you know, because that is sometimes what it takes to kind of get yourself from point A to point B, you know. And I do this with anything, you know, and I teach my daughter this too. I think if you're someone who has anxiety, and I do, and I think it's talked about a lot now, but I think it wasn't talked about, and I don't think people recognized what they had as anxiety. And I think it's the same kind of genre. When you're nervous to cut into your fabric, it feels so permanent, and you're like, oh my gosh, but I've spent all this money on this. I don't really want to fail. The same thing, failing in sewing isn't failing at all. It's a learning lesson, and it's huge in getting you to be better. So, yeah, exactly, Nancy. That's so great. It's like giving yourself grace. Yeah. So I think, like, coming up with a backup plan is really helpful. And if you are here enough, you'll hear me say that, like, what am I going to do if this doesn't work? And it's very rarely now that I go, wow, you know, if this doesn't work, there's actually no way forward. It's really rare I feel that way about something, you know? And I think also you only become a good sewist if you make mistakes, because that's the only way you learn how to come back from it, you know? So there's that. All right, let's put the bag together. All right, so I sewed all those. Pep Talk 2045, 2431, sides. All right, we're going to sew the sides of the bag, the outer bag, and the lining together. So my other thing is the precious thing. And so here's my story. Do you have that, like, grandma or person in your life who, well, let's put the handles on. Who loves, like, those little decorative soaps? You know what I'm talking about? The little decorative soaps. I have too much stuff on my thing here. And you visit that person, and every time those same soaps have been there since you were 13 years old. and they're kind of getting a little fuzzy and gummy looking. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I wouldn't wash my hands with that soap even if you paid me. I don't care how cute it was. It's not cute anymore. It's been 10 years. So that soap, you know, it paid its dues as a decorative object, but at the same time, why not use it? Or, you know, like when you put something in a drawer and you never use it. I think, like, wait, did I not read? What happened here? Why is there no stitching? Did I run out of bobbin thread like a long time ago? Okay. Fine. I think that when you make things overly... Oh, my thread broke. I think if you make things overly precious, you're in danger of never enjoying it at all, because it just, like, it goes past its prime, you know? And I saw someone else say something kind of akin to that, like, if, you know... If anyone's experienced anything this year, they know, don't make it, just do it. Use the fabric. Don't make it precious, you know? So you really do need that kind of self-soothing, and don't make it precious, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I think seeing my parents lose everything in a fire, my brother lose everything in a fire, and just about, and you know, how many thousands of people here lose everything in a fire. There's nothing in my life that I feel could compare to their loss as far as what they feel precious. The thing is, that is not a way to make someone feel guilty for like making their things precious, because you know what, all those things were precious to those people too, you know? So you just gotta, like, do what's comfortable for yourself, but just know that it's not the end of the world if it doesn't work out. This new Tupperware that you refuse to use. Yeah, exactly. And I'm the opposite. Like, so you're hearing this summer from someone who is not sentimental. So you can take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. And I'm not dead inside, you guys, you know, like I definitely am, you know, sentimental enough, right? But definitely the fire really made me even more sentimental, because now it's like I look at some of the things I had that my mom had the same thing, because like my brother made us all, you know, a DVD holder and shop glass, you know, and so I'm the only one that still has theirs, because my brother's burned in a fire, my mom's burned in a fire, you know. I don't think my sister got one, because my sister's like was living, you know, like she was they're really close in age, so they were still living at home together. I don't think he made her one, you know. He might have, I don't remember. All right, so I don't know. I just think, like, it'd be a shame if you didn't get to use that Tupperware and some, you know, a gorilla came in the house tomorrow and then squished it all, and you'd be like, dang, I didn't even get to use that, you know? So that was so crooked right there, but it's my laundry bag. So you could stitch this through all the layers, the lining layers, and the, oh, you know, I want to put the handles on last, I think, because I have the facing. This might be in the way of the facing. Okay, note to self. All right, so let's just do the sides. We're going to put that handle aside, and we're just going to do the sides here. What did I say? I have 3/4 inch seams, right? It's okay, Summer. That is what live streams are all about. I really think they are. I mean, the reason I started my live stream was to help people get over, you know, being stuck in sewing. So, and you're stuck in your sewing. Well, you're not really stuck, but I love that you could hire someone to help you, give you that confidence, though, and that they did that, because that's really awesome. I'm going to top stitch it because I really want it flat. I'm probably going to go a little fast too, because Oh, and look what I did. I put my two sides with the handles next to each other. Silly goose. You want to put a side without handles in between the two handle sides. We're learning. It's our first time sewing it. First time. Thank you, Barbara. I see someone really kindly do that in Andrea's chat. And I asked her one day, I was like, wait, how are you doing that? Like, and so the next time she's live and I see that, I'm going to tell her about the uptime counter that I found. Because they have to like click the stream and go to the beginning to see how much time has passed, you know? And I was like, I don't want to do that. And I don't want to ask everybody to do my timestamp. So I don't want to lose. I have this, my pins are right here. I'm the only sewist in the world that doesn't use a magnetic pin cushion or a regular pin cushion. And half the time I just like a cup. That's what I like. Okay, I have one more side, right? Here we go. Yep. Secure these. It's a big enough opening that top stitching the last one won't be too hard. What pattern? I have one pattern. I think it might be the wallaby where I make people top stitch it, and this isn't working out. You go over there. Hey Michelle, how's it going? Hello Mary. Well Mary, or do you go by Mary Grace? Some heat. I just drafted this pattern. So this is kind of my first time seeing it. I did a couple prototypes, but they were pretty ugly. And they were just basically to figure out the general dimensions that I wanted. So this is my first prototype that'll be finished. So I don't know yet. I kind of know, but you know. And it's lined, so I need to do this for the lining as well. Now I put stiffener in the bottom, and I'm wondering, what's my plan with that? Because if I want the stiffener, could I do it so that, I think I could. Hey Florentine, how's it going? Welcome back. Can I send some heat east? Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I think it's going to be 80 here. When I first got this office, I was like, ooh, it's cold in my office, but hot out there. And I walked in some of the empty offices. There's 10 offices out there, and only 2 others are occupied. And all the others, the doors are just open to them. And one of them, I swear to you, it was 77 degrees in there. I was like, oh my God, my office isn't that hot, and I'm really glad. But that must be where the ducting is working. I turned off the heat because no one was here because it was getting so hot out there, and mine warms up over the course of the day, you know. I used to be always cold, but I haven't been for years anymore. Ever since living in Humboldt, I don't. So, yeah, so Mary Grace, I wanted a new laundry basket. Like, not a hamper, but a basket. And I thought, hey, you know, maybe I'll make a sewn version of that, right? There's a sewing solution for everything. Your eyes gauge run. Yeah, this machine can go pretty quick. I just never get to do that when we're usually sewing things because I'm not doing this kind of, you know, long, straight, repetitive stuff. But the machine wants to go straight. I don't have the automatic back tack on either. I'm using my finger. That's what I'm doing right there. I don't know if you can see that though. Can you see this right here? Not really. I think the first time you were able to see it is in that Juki maintenance video. So I finally brought the camera in front so you could see that little doohickey. Yeah, so my bag is, or my laundry basket is going to have, it's going to have some stiffener around the rim in a facing. It's going to have a hook on one side because my dryer, it stacks and the dryer's up top. And so, you know, by making a soft-sided basket, I'm giving up the, you know, like the benefits of like a nice basket that just stays open. But with this hook, I can hook it to the front of the dryer, you know, and then hold it open and I can just go like this. Hopefully, you know. We'll see. It's theoretical right now. I just knocked my scissors off. All right, so then this is my, pretty sure I can clean finish. My idea is to put the stiffener in between the two bottoms, but sew them as one seam. You know what I mean? What am I not thinking about there? I think that's totally fine. It seems so easy. That's why I'm a little leery. I'm not even pressing all the way down on my foot pedal. It's pretty zippy. But it's obviously really easy. You know, I can do one stitch at a time, you know, if I want. It's pretty sensitive. All right. So now my idea is, let's see. I've got some stiffener. Now let's put it in between these two. Well, Michelle, I never say things like that, but I will say, like, when I go sew with friends and I bring my home sewing machine, it is really hard. What are my tips for sewing linen? If you have any curved edges, so when you cut out your linen pieces, stabilize the edges, especially any curves, because linen will relax and kind of get bigger around the edges sometimes, and those curves can kind of get away from you. So that's what I would recommend, especially if you're in your sewing routine, is to like cut something out maybe one day and then a few days later sew it up. I would absolutely stabilize those edges, and it irons really well, and it's actually a really easy fiber to work with as far as like behaving and doing some of the, like, you know, like pleats and details and folding edges and top stitching things down like pockets. It's great. But on something like a collar stand, it's something that's really narrow. It can kind of get a little out of control. So if it's really, really thin and you're doing a collar stand, you might even think about fusing your interfacing to both collar stands. I don't always fuse interfacing. I usually just use like fabric, like a cotton, like a tightly woven cotton. But with linen, it is kind of nice to have the stability. So the stiffener is polyester. I'm using something like what's that stuff called? I was about to say Timtex, but that was like when stiffener was invented. Pellon 70. Stabilize the edges by like a stay stitch. So if this were just my linen edge right here, you know, pretend like there's not the stiffener and the fabric underneath it. Maybe I would just put a little stitch around the edge. Don't pull it, and just kind of keep it inside the seam allowances just to kind of stabilize it. Because I mean, even look at this. See how, can you see that it's kind of rippling here? You see that? My linen, look at that. This is a perfect example. This is partly because I just sewed up to this spot right here, but the linen is definitely already getting bigger than this denim underneath here. So, especially a neckline. I don't know why we don't worry about armholes so much, but a neckline for sure. Because usually you have to sew something a little bit fiddly to it. So, all right, I'm just stay stitching that to keep it together. And so my idea right now is, this is the bottom or the top? This is the bottom. Is I think I'm gonna sew this in one big sandwich. You know, is that my notch right there? Because that's not good. This should be my notch, right? Notch, 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 notch. And really, I should be worried about this side. I'm gonna try and do this all as one. So let's see. We have our handle side. Oh. That's right. I actually want. Oh, that's so funny. So when I notched my circle, I need to write this down. I have to write down my pattern notes. Move notches on bottom. I made the notches on the bottom circle in quarters. That's fine, except you would naturally line it up to a seam, and I wanted these panels to be centered on the sides. So the seams are actually here and here, not here, here. I could just put, a notch on this. So I just need to think about it and figure out what I want. All right. Hello, Adina. How's it going? Edna. I am sure that is not the first or last time Adina will hear that. Let's get some clips out. I'll probably only use one, but hey. With the stiffener, it's a little hard. Okay, and so now this one we need to move. Nello. It's Big Bang Theory time. Oh my gosh, that's way more important than me, Ray. Way more important. Big Bang Theory for me is on at 6 p.m. Is that the time for you? My Zoom sewing lessons. Ooh. I really should look at doing that. I'm sorry. So I did add a monthly Zoom session with tier 3 patrons. I just added that. And that will be like a 2 to 3 hour thing with no more than 3 other people. And you can bring your problem, you can bring questions, whatever, and we'll do it together. That's where I've gotten so far with Zoom. I am still interested in doing the lessons though. All right, so this might be a little fiddly to do. I should probably do my centers on all these now that that's where I have my notches. This is part of the process when I'm still figuring out a pattern. It's a little clunkier to sew. So this one will go here. And I think I would probably pre-sew the lining on, I think this is going to take me so long to do. Oh gosh, it's the wrong one. Yeah, in fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this one off, and I'm just going to do the lining first, and then I'll do the outer fabric. It'll just be faster to sew it twice than to fiddle with it once, All right, Mary Grace. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Tier 3 is $20 a month. Nice, the backup screen. You're so techy. I was laughing out loud because last night I watched it and the episode was when Howard plays the game. Is Raj talking about Emily or Cinnamon? I was laughing out loud. I've seen that episode plenty. All right, where's my thing? Okay, here we go. So Summer, tell me more about what you would like in a Zoom sewing lesson. Are you thinking like, is this a group thing, a one-on-one thing? Is it a project? I actually think for me, until I learned how to be a sewing teacher, probably the easiest thing for me would be to have like a project like we're gonna sew the Archer button up together. You know what I mean? Do I really have to fit this in here? Why isn't all this fitting in here? Did I not do this correctly? Let's see. Where's this? Here's this notch here. That one looks really easy. Why does this one look so hard? Why does that one look so hard? What the heck? See, one thing about linen is that if it grows and it's going to something that doesn't grow, it makes it hard. This is my non-negotiable spot right here. And I might be negotiating. I almost want a easing stitch in here. I don't think I'm going to get this all in here. But it looks like it's going to fit just fine on the other side. So why is that? It shouldn't be this hard. Look at that. But look at this over here. Can you even see that? For 2-hour one-on-one Zoom session. Oh. I don't know. You should just be a tier. Oh, you want one-on-one? Well, right now, being a tier 3 Patreon, it almost will be one-on-one for some of the sessions. So I've put up 4 times. So I'm totally cheating right now, and this is going to come to bite me, back to bite me, I think. And you don't have to do it every month. You know, like my feelings aren't hurt when people stop being a patron. Things happen. Maybe they just wanted the free patterns. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling right now. Look at it. It looks totally fine, but by the time I get over here, it's going to go right. Come on, baby. So I don't want to get this too far off because then when I put the outer fabric on, it'll be wonky. So, did you really, Adina? That's really cool. Crack the whip until you finally cut the dang fabric. All right, Summer, what about this? What if you were coaching someone to cut out a project? What would you tell them? Have you ever thought about it that way? I think sometimes when I'm having trouble getting the gumption up to do something, I think, well, what would I tell someone? No linen bag making, right? Let's see how this one goes. It could be my pattern, Michelle. It really could just be my pattern. It could be my pattern. It could be my cutting. I have a feeling it is the linen. But the thing is, the thing that makes me think it's not the linen is the fact that this is all attached, like this piece, it's pretty fixed. And so unless this is getting bigger, which it quite honestly could be, you know. Don't give up on linen yet, but I did see a friend say, she goes, you know, I was watching your video on this and you said, just don't use linen binding. And she said, that is exactly what I had cut out. And yeah, I had to hand sew that. And I was like, yeah, linen binding, man, come on. It's so beautiful, but it's so hard sometimes, you know. You say, read the directions twice, several days before, and think about it. Oh, that's really good advice. I like that, Adina. I also think that sometimes when I'm having trouble getting motivated to do something, especially something I'm like, that's not even that hard, even if it's just like I need to package up something and ship it and I don't know how to do it, I just say, you know what, you're just going to start with getting everything together. And I just kind of give myself little chunks. So maybe you go, oh, I'm just going to read through half the sewing directions and that's it. And I'm going to read those and that's it. I'm going to stop there. Because maybe you actually, what'll probably happen is you start doing it and then you're going to start pulling things out and it'll kind of get you going, you know? So, oh, look at that. I don't know, Michelle. Look at that. It might be my pattern piece. This feels like it might be my pattern piece. So don't give up on, look at that. Let's pin this in a few more spots, but where's this? Should be about right here. Oh, that might be it right there. Okay. See, I find that when I tell myself, okay, I know you have to make that cake and you're kind of putting it off. Just get the ingredients out. You know what I mean? Oh, I like that, Ray. Hello, Sylvia. I kind of did, Sylvia. A little bit. Yeah, I mean, it is my prototype, right? And this is the lining, but see, can you see that little tuck? I have a few tucks in there. Could I have like stopped, probably put an easing stitch in it like you do when you're easing a sleeve into a garment? Yes, I actually think I could have gotten this in there with no tucks if I'd done that. Am I not worried about the tucks right now? Not really. Do you need me to be? I hope not. When you're doing these kinds of seams, when you're doing a straighter edge to a circle, it's really important you stay on the seam allowance. You know what I'm thinking is that my seam allowance is 3/8. It's 3/8, isn't it? It's 3/8. It's 3/8. That's the problem. I never use 3/8 inch seams. Why did I do that? What was my rationale for that? Well, poop. Look at that. It's so much easier when I sew on the 3/8 line, but the other side's probably looking like poop. Womp womp. There you go, Michelle. See? Linen redeemed. Yeah. Right, Ray? You get the ingredient thing out? Yeah. Yeah. It's the same with getting ready for work for the next day, right? Maybe you're like, ooh, tomorrow I have a little bit early morning, so I'm going to pick out the outfit. But that's a little different than being hesitant to doing something, you know? It's like those big kinds of projects. You feel like these huge obligations to do, like a scrapbook. I don't want to do a scrapbook. I'm never going to do a scrapbook. But there's a few things like that. I feel like I should preserve certain things, and I just don't want to do them. I'm at the point where I would pay someone to do them, you know? And, you know, seeing my parents go through a fire makes me really want to prioritize those things. So my parents didn't lose any pictures. This was the one thing my mom had everything of. She had it all digital, you know, so she lost other things though. And that kind of project, I've already started it. I'm like, I had to like go so far to the beginning of the steps to make myself start it, and one of them was just write a list on what you want to do. So you guess we could, Michelle, you'll let it slide this time. We're not giving up on linen yet. I mean, you know, this notch on this is way over here, but I bet the notch is actually, it's right here. Yeah, because that one got pushed. I can see, I know it went pushed this way. I just know. So this is where this goes. So that's not bad. Too bad. I'm a little nervous of how this is going to look on the other side. But it's a prototype. Stiffener is very stable as far as sewing to it. It doesn't grow or shrink. It's really great that way. But so you can kind of tell sometimes immediately if your fabric is doing something funny, because if you cut out the stiffener and you cut out the fabric and then the next day you go to sew it, the fabric's bigger. You're like, well, it's not the stiffener. I cut these out at the same time with the same pattern piece. I could totally put an easing stitch in there. Oh, that's so much. But you know what? We're gonna take this out a little bit and sew it at our correct seam allowance. You know? I'd rip this, but since I notched it, it would probably rip right down the middle of the notch. That's my luck, you know. Okay. Here we go. That's right. I never use 3/8 inch seams for bag making, but when I think I started this, I wasn't going to line it. I thought I was going to overlock it. But I kind of want more body. All right, we just got to make this finish here. All right. I'm going to look at the inside here. Oh, I need to fix that. Oh yeah, we have a few spots because I increased that seam allowance. Like right here. There we go. Get rid of this little tuck here. I hate taking out stitches on linen. Every linen stitch is like a stitch, you know? Ooh, get a sewing buddy and do the same thing together. That's good. Oh, Michelle. Dinner over in your back. Nice, Eliza. Welcome back. You just missed the drama, so that's perfect. God, the sewing friend thing sounds so good. Can you imagine if we ever got, like, our stream was big enough, we could have, like, a retreat? Wouldn't that be fun? Why'd this have to happen on the back stitch right here? I remembered my seam allowance is 3/8, Eliza. So, yeah. Where is this at here? I'm gonna do it from, sometimes I like doing it from this side of the stiffener. I'm just trying to fix a few of these little spots that got pinched in the stitching. Let me see how this one did. Is this my back stitch? It is, yeah. That's what it is. We'll make some progress in a second. Yes, 3/8 makes a big difference. Shortcut? Well, the shortcut is that I'm allowing certain tucks in here. This right here is backstitch. No, I don't have a single video on an invisible hem, but there's most likely a stitch on your machine. And it probably would be good to see how that is done by someone, like find a video, because the first time I saw that I was like, what? That's what's happening there? And I had to like do it a lot for some reason. I think maybe it was a sewing instructor that required it, or maybe I was working somewhere. I can't quite remember. I got really good at it. Oh yeah, I was probably at the mother-daughter place. Mother-daughter place. Drink. Agave party at my house. I mean, only if it's the tequila kind, Michelle. Really. Because otherwise, no. Yes, Eliza. So look at this terrible. I caught this stuff in here. So, man. Me and my seam ripper. Me and my buddy. I don't mind the tucks, but I don't like those kind of tucks that look like that are flattening it out, you know, that make it look bad. The other tucks don't make it look good, but you know, like this one's pretty questionable right there. At least I figured out why it was doing that. But I'm definitely going to double check the pattern now. I'm going to look at the seam allowance on this side. It's almost a 1/2 inch. Okay. I think this might be my last one right here. Yeah, you could just hem by hand. The invisible stitch is pretty cool. And it is kind of nice to know it, because if you ever have a lot of it to do, it does make it easier. But the easiest way to do it is to overlock the edge first and then sew on the serging while you do it. And if you don't have a serger, you can do it folded, but I find it a little harder to catch. All right. Yeah, she did. There's a lot of those machines for sale right now, Nancy. I don't know if the internet's hearing us talk or something. Or what. So now, because I just did this way where I encased it in the seam there, it's making it roll along this edge here. So, what could I do? Maybe I should trim it and fold it. You know what I mean? I didn't think about that. But I thought about it, but I didn't think about that I wouldn't like that. I just thought, yeah, it's not going to turn. I didn't think about like that. I wouldn't like that. Yes, there are blind hem machines. They are fast too. All right. We have one handle. Well, this isn't big enough to go over my arm. It's not big enough to go over my arm. You know, I was thinking it needed to be 12 inches, but you know what it is? It needs to be 12 inches tall. That's what it is. 12 inches this way. And then probably like 26 inches long. Well, snap. We're learning. Yeah, I think we'll stay stitch this top edge now. And then get the, you know, not hem it, but get the linen stabilized. I have so much. When I'm doing a design, sometimes I have so much stuff sitting around here. like my note paper or not. Okay. All right, Summer, see you later. Well, Michelle, I think so, because I'm hoping that I can squish it then. You know what I mean? Because right now, the current basket is pretty cumbersome to go up and down the stairs. Anything's going to be better than that. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly don't think this will be too bad. Except I probably will want a longer strap. All right, now we have our facing, right? So once I know mine, I'll put the pocket on the inside. But for the pattern, I'll have that done before you put the lining together, you know? All right, so let's sew. Have a lot of little accessories. All right. So yeah, itty bitty, super heavy machine. Do you mount it to a table? Ours was tabletop 3/8. Wait, did I make this 1/4 inch? Crap, I don't remember. I didn't write it on there either. So I'm just gonna put my facing in a circle. Timestamps are a little out the window at this point since I'm still kind of troubleshooting. Wait. This was the wrong way. This one's the wrong way. Here we go. The way the word true looks like so Princess Bride, you know, like marriage. Marriage. True love. Okay. Let's top stitch this too. Wait, is the stiffener go in the side seams? That probably needed to get sewn in there with it. I can't remember. Yeah, it did. Whoops. Oh, okay. It comes with a mounting clamp. Okay. All right, so I'm going to line it up to the top edge, right? Look at that. Wait. Okay, it's laying flat now. So one thing when dealing with stiffener I have found is that on the bottom I did make the pieces, wait. I made the pieces all the same size, right? The lining, the outer, and the stiffener were all the same pattern piece because theoretically they're laying flat and they're not really needing to wrap around edges or anything like that, so it's fine. But theoretically, like if you were to do it on the sides, you'd need a different lining and a different outer piece. And so the spacing might give me some of that kind of vibe. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I think the fabric is going to make up for the mistakes. Right? Wait. This one's upside down. Oh, shoot. I think we're going to need notches on this piece so that you don't accidentally do that, because that is pretty easy to do. The curve is so subtle In this print especially, it kind of masks it. My stiffener is so curvy. I hate curvy stiffener. Wait, this piece is upside down. Wait a minute, wait a minute. This goes like, I think this one was right. I think this one was right. That goes like that. This right here, this one's wrong. Well, shoot. It was this one. I think it's been sewn twice, you know. Sewed it once, then I attached the stiffener. And it has a lot of back stitches there. That's why we like the heavy duty fabrics, right? All right. Make sure. All right. This one, this is the curve. Yes. I don't trust anything right now. I don't trust it. It's gonna flip over after I sew it. Watch. Okay, that's still matching up, right? If you see it flip over while I'm sewing, do some sort of magical trick. This is fiddly. Since my stiffener is so curly, it's getting close to the end of the roll. Well, I mean, I made a mistake, obviously, so it's not working out great for me. There's certain things I like to do not streaming, and it's surprisingly, it's not complicated things. It's the really, really easy stuff like production sewing. I really love to just watch a movie and sew because it's mindless, you know, and it's very relaxing. Because there's times I'm like, oh, I bet the stream would really like to join me on this, but I'm like, you know what? I just need to sew this by myself, you know? I don't think I could do like what Lauren Mormino does. How it looked to me, I think she's sewing orders a lot of times, or production sewing, and I couldn't do that. I could, but I wouldn't want to stop and answer chat. I wouldn't want to neglect chat, and I wouldn't want to neglect the bag I'm working on. And for me, that's what it would translate to. For her, she can do it really well, you know? Okay, what do you need to get my attention? That would be pretty funny. There is if we were in Twitch, there's a way to where you can do voice stuff. See, my stiffener's not lining up on these, so that's why I was fiddling with just now. All right, I'm gonna open up these seams and top stitch this nice and flat. So people can do some sort of like command in the chat and then type what they want the robot to say, and it says it out loud. Obviously, you know, you would want to filter out certain things, but you know, it'll say they'll unlock something like, oh, I just want to say happy birthday to so and so in the chat or whatever. It's never anything innocent like that, unfortunately, but it's never anything nefarious either, but it's just usually dumb comments, you know, or like they'll spam the letter L a billion times. So I am so suspicious that this is not the right curve. It's like my zip double all over again. Which wasn't a problem for us because we made the pattern piece different. But it is when it became a home sewing pattern, because it became cut 2 and not one long piece, the curve is so subtle on such a short piece that a lot of folks were sewing it in upside down. Understandably too. All right. Okay, the curve's okay. So now we have the top edge, and I did the stiffener to kind of give it, to help the basket to stay open a little bit. What's this pen here for? It was this pen. Is this the other one? Let's see if we can figure out. Oh, I can't. I already sewed it down. Oh, well. Oh, well. Ooh, beautiful cauliflower. Hey, Mrs. Necker, how's it going? Oh, really? Adina, that's so funny. I turned that off. I turned that off because there's something about my name in general that sets Siri off. And the way I say seriously. So I had to turn it off. Okay. So we'll just sew this along the top edge. Lining up the seams. And it's going to turn to the inside. The other thing is, because the stiffener's a little thicker, it will sometimes make my fabrics push. We're almost done though, so this is exciting. You can lurk, Ray, yeah. Oh, you gotta make yourself presentable. Ooh, I'm sorry about the funeral, though. I just let that... Where's the... Oh, there's the seam right there. The lining seam doesn't... I don't think this lining seam lines up on that one. The outer seam does. My mom, that was the one like dark humor thing my mom said last summer, was like, she's like, well, I mean, Zoom funerals are actually pretty interesting because you know, you get the slideshow, you know, like she was trying to make the best of it because I lost a lot of friends last summer, or family too. And I got to watch, I actually got to go to a couple of them via YouTube, and God, I love seeing the slideshows of people's lives. I think that is so cool. All right, the outer seam is matching, the lining is not. I thought I had gotten those seams to match when I was doing the top edge. You guys watched me do that. Maybe I was lining the raw edges up. Who is the... Oh, Alexa. So, did you guys see that mini-series? The British one? Oh, what was it called? And they had something akin to Alexa. It was pretty interesting. It was kind of futuristic. And the daughter wanted to basically become a computer. I don't have any of those either. I don't have an Alexa or anything. Oh, yeah. It's a pallbearer. Yeah, Lennon again. Well, I think this is partly me and partly a new pattern. And yeah, I don't really know what excuses to make up for that. All right, so I want this facing to go to the inside. You know, not to sound like, you know, I used to hike uphill in the snow, but back in my day, pins didn't suck. Pins suck now. I'm just gonna say it. Pins, they, like these, I understand that these are big and they create a big hole and they might fall out or something, but they bend so easily. And these quilting pins, the reason I like them is that they shouldn't, you know what I mean? And these are, not to mention they're falling out, they're also bending all the time. I have this random thread. That's going to bug me. I might need tweezers for that one. I can see it there. Can I grab it from this side? Yeah, like quality. I don't watch TV either, Adina. I watch, you know, things on Netflix or whatever. I do follow The Walking Dead, but I'm not caught up on it. I think I'm going to fold and top stitch this because I want the stiffener to go down, but it is a little bit fussy. Look at all these threads here. This is terrible. This is fabric thread. This right here is my end thread, and it didn't get pushed into the seam allowance. Dang it. There we go. You know, the last thing I want is to be walking up the stairs holding my new laundry bag with one hand, my ice cream in the other, see a thread on there and try and pull it out while I'm walking up the stairs with Loki, you know, glued to my calf. In our old house, I fell down the stairs 3 times. I haven't fallen down these at all once. We just got Molly these step rugs for each stair. They haven't drastically improved the quality of her life and thus all of our lives, because she was doing this crazy thing on the last 4 steps. I think it was a perspective thing. Like she was having trouble, like a depth of perception, and she was having trouble seeing the last 4 steps, like one of them. Why do I have all these threads in here? And she stopped doing that finally. So, oh, interesting, Nancy. This is a little thick. Woo! That was a lot thick. Oh, I don't have a big needle in here. Whoops. Oh yeah, Modern Family. My family loves that one. I like it too, but I just love Big Bang Theory more. Let's put the big needle in. Don't yank them. Wait, yank what? Wait, what did I do? Oh, the threads, right? Yeah. Well, I can at least tell the difference with these, and this isn't linen. It's not the linen thread I'm pulling. It's definitely this cotton canvas, you know? But thank you. You know? All right, let's get that back in there. Oh, you know, I meant to tell Adina, you and Terry, that I finally saw what you guys are talking about with that quick release thing. Yeah, I wish mine had that. Like, I'm surprised. Oh, look at that little piece of needle. I'm surprised I didn't get that with my machine, you know? pull it, get rid of any metal in there. Dang, we're really going through the bobbin thread too. This machine doesn't wind as much on my bobbin as my old machine. You know? Like, it's the same exact bobbin, but the machine, the where it stops it is sooner than my old machine. It's really annoying. I adjusted it so it's better, but I haven't gotten it back to where it was. If I were production sewing on this the way I used to on my other one, I would have been mad, like really mad. I would have made him fix it eventually. I've been like, It also wound the thread on really loose and gushy, and I had to adjust that too. It's really possible that they just maybe didn't fully set it up or something. Okay. I might go past that. I'm not familiar with this seam enough to know if I really want to test it. So I'm going to jump over this one and make a note that that probably needs a little bit of work if I want to keep doing that. So it's not a Juki part. Yeah, I saw it in a foot kit. And then when I saw someone using it, I was like, oh, I want that really bad. Yeah, so is that what you found, that when you shop, it's the low shank, high shank thing? Because I saw a lot of talk of that, and I didn't realize it was that simple, that it's just based on the shank, you know? We're gonna walk it. With the size 18 needle, it's pretty good. That's my handle under there. You can hear the difference of the needle, huh? I have a feeling that what I'm going to learn about this bag once I start using it is that it's too big. It's so hard to dial it back. Like, at the last second, I made it bigger, and I was like, this is it. This is where you kind of screw up the size. You just can't believe that it's going to be the right size, and so then you make it a little bigger, and then it's too big, you know? So, hopefully, I didn't make it too big, because I made it taller, but I made the base a little bit bigger. Almost to the beginning. Sewing parts online. Oh, okay, great. What I'm looking for is that buttonhole attachment, and I was looking at someone using it in a video, and they were like, it was really cool. I was like, oh yeah, I want that thing. And then I was reading the comments because there wasn't very many, and someone said, you know, that does not work with my machine, which has an automatic thread snip. And I was like, oh shoot. So bollocks. So because of that, because of the automatic thread snip, and so then the original person responded, they were like, you know, I just got an automatic thread snip machine too, and it doesn't work on mine either. The original person who posted it. So I was like, shoot. You know, like, I thought I finally found it. And the only one I ever see for sale is that one. Oh, cool, Nancy. Yeah, that's what I use for zippers. Yeah, it just depends, right, Nancy, what you like to get. I used to be on a ruler thing. Turns out you can really only use 1 or 2 rulers. You know, you really don't need a lot of rulers. I've been looking at printers. Does anyone know anything about printers? Because I had this idea of like, look at that. It does kind of hold it open. Ooh, it's looking good. Still has that kind of basket shape. I don't even notice the tucks. Oh, okay, Adina. So what I didn't understand with that, Adina, was why would the auto thread snip interfere with that tool, you know? Because maybe it doesn't snip the thread anymore, but you could still use the tool. So, for example, on our binding machine, one time, Rayanne needed a new knife on her machine to cut the thread because hers stopped cutting the thread. And so she just needed a new knife. And our mechanic didn't have one with him when he came that day to tune up the machines. And so he was like, oh, you need a new knife on this. So, but I don't have one. He's like, well, what I can do is I'll steal the one from the binding machine because the binding machine will still work. And so we did that. And so what it made was that we had to cut the thread. But the thing is, when you're pulling your work out, it's attached to binding. You have to cut the binding anyway. So it didn't change any of our steps. What it did make it was that if that machine wants to go to be back to not having the binding attachment, it would need the knife back in. And when I sold it, I told the guy, I was like, here's the deal. You're going to need, your feed dogs and a knife. And it's not a big deal. But you need to know that you need these things. This is not enough fabric to wrap under here. Like, it's kind of fiddly. I think I need a wider seam allowance here. I don't want to get any torquing, And it's kind of too tight to pin. And so, yeah, not having the knife, not having the thread snip didn't interfere with anything. But I guess that's not that's like apples to oranges, huh? So after this stitch, my last fiddly stitch, I need to put on my handles, but I need to recut my handle too. It's not long enough. Okay. Oh yeah, I was asking about printers. So this is my idea. All right, let's take these off. I just, I got rid of my plotter. In fact, I gave it to Adina. And I don't really want to do that kind of printing, like big plots. But I was wondering about getting a printer that printed something a little bigger so that I could print out a fat quarter. Or maybe not a fat quarter, but something bigger than an 8.5 by 11. And I was wondering, I have used a plotter with, say my little plotter, how do I phrase this? Say you bought a pattern from a pattern company, a PDF download, and the print format was for a 70-inch wide plotter, right? But you only have a 36-inch wide plotter. If you set it up to print on yours, it would print it in 2 halves, and then you would tape it down the middle, right? 36 and 36, and you've got your, 70. You've made it. So my question is, could I do that with the PDF plots that that we get? If I got a bigger format printer, would I just print the the copy shop version and it would piece it for me, you know? Because I had marker making software. So I could have used that if I wanted to kind of outsmart it. There we go. All right. Well, I barely have any seam allowance here. And the other thing I was thinking was, yeah, I could do fabric strike-offs for spoon flower. Because that, like, waiting for fabric to print and get mailed to me and paying for it, that costs a lot every time. And if a machine, like a printer, is like $400 for something like that, I could pay for that in a few orders, you know? So I don't want I don't want to really want it for pattern printing. Oh my gosh, this is so fiddly. This is just like, I need way more seam allowance. More seam allowance on facing. Notch on facing. Okay. If you overlocked this edge, you could just top stitch it down. I'm wrapping it around the stiffener though, just to kind of, oh man, I missed right there. Wham! I don't want to miss right there. Yeah, right, Nancy? That's what I was thinking, Elena. Yeah, so I know, and that's the thing is, like, I used to have marker making software and I don't have that kind of software anymore. So I'm wondering if I started printing, like right now, if I started printing a copy shop on my printer, I think what it would do is print one page and that's it. One 8.5 by 11 page of the entire marker. See, we used to be able to do things where we could print the entire, like, I'm calling it a marker, but that is what it is. Like, it's not a marker, but it's kind of like that. We'll call it, you know, the PDF print, the copy shop, right? So we could do that in the design room, and we would do that for a marker. We would print the entire marker on an 8.5 by 11 page, and you would see a miniature version of, you know, your marker, your cutting layout, right? And it was a reference. We would just put it in the book as a reference because we had a copy. We had a fire safe copy of everything. And that way, if we had to recreate it, it would be less work because we had something to look at for reference, you know? And, you know, fire safe could mean anything. Could mean there's a disaster and, you know, our computers get wiped clean, you know, so. But that's what I would fear would happen. It would just print the whole thing on one little tiny 8.5 by 11 page, or it would only print one page, 8.5 by 11 of that whole huge thing. And this is the thing, Nancy, this would be a tabletop printer, you know, something like this. So I was trying to search for the sizes that printers come in. Because I wanted to see, is this something that's $1,000? I don't really need to spend $1,000 on a printer like this. You know, I'm not a professional fabric designer. I'm not, you know, I don't need to go overboard. Or is this something that is like, you know, $400 to $600? I might consider that. And I just got kind of lost in all of the tech jargon because it was geared towards a different industry, you know? My bag is pushing up against the table there. What time is it? Oh, okay, cool. Come on. Try and keep it flat so I don't get any torquing. I think wider fabric would make this easier, but having the stiffener to wrap it under makes it pretty easy to do. I just need a little more fabric and it would be a lot easier. It's not hard to stitch on the edge of the stiffener. That's pretty thin. And when I get to the seams, that's pretty thin too, because it's not going to, like up here, it's a lot of seams. Down here, it's just this. You know, it's just the facing and the stiffener. It's not nearly as thick there. Not my best sewing though. But cute for a prototype. A wearable muslin, if you will. What was that ridge right there? Oh, those are the pins. There's pins under there. Shoot. I don't want them to get stuck in my feed dogs. Okay. That's the worst. The head of your pin getting stuck in your feed dogs. Danger, danger. I don't have a whole lot of maneuverability right here because it's just pushing up against the table. All right. So I toyed with, this is working, you know? So it is rounding around the seam down here. That's not really bugging me. I don't think it's hindering the usability, and it's not making the lining do anything weird, but I would probably look at the pattern and fix it so it doesn't do this, you know, this kind of thing. Because I could have just put the stiffener inside, like made the stiffener an inch smaller all the way around and put it in between these two layers, right? Are you taking off, Adina? Good night. See you later. Don't study too hard. Right, Nancy? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's talk about my handle here. Here is where would it go? Actually, no. I didn't even end up putting the handle on the right side. So good thing we had to take the handle off. It goes here. Let's put the pocket on right now. I'm gonna iron around the edges to make it a little easier. This fabric looks so good under the camera. I've been designing a fabric. I know this seems totally crazy, but I've been designing a fabric to use in my how-to videos so that I have plenty of it and they just start looking really consistent. But maybe I'll try and mimic this kind of value of colors and background, because there's a clear wrong side, there's a clear right side, and that really is helpful. And it doesn't do anything weird to the camera. You know, it's not stripes. Right now I have one that looks like it has little paper airplanes on it. It's pretty cute. Because it'd be nice if they were consistent and I don't have to shop my stash. Because sometimes I'm like, this fabric would be perfect, but this, I don't want to cut off a half a yard of fabric for my swatches because I want to use the whole thing for a project. And I'm just into playing with Procreate, so that's why. I don't really think I need my own custom fabric. Trust me, there's plenty of fabrics I could use out there. It's just a nice little challenge for myself. Okay, finally it's getting hot enough. I never pre-iron my pockets, do I? Ooh, sorry. My serger's right there. I keep bonking it. All right. So let's put this like right here. Maybe even a little high. And I'll just make sure the handles are on either side of it. That way it's easy. Where's the top? It's upside down. Yeah, exactly, Nancy. It's just an excuse to practice with making a repeat. Yeah. I finally, Malin would be so proud, I finally bought my first Procreate brushes. Shoot, I should have started upside down, but I may have to do this. I'll do a fake style that I did it. Get in there. Now I want to do laundry. Now we've taken it too far, right? This would be kind of a good gift for somebody moving away, or maybe a housewarming gift, you know? Maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. I kind of like the gifts I get that I didn't know I needed. But we also get plenty of, oh man, I did my pocket pet peeve of letting raw edges show right here because I'm rushing. We all get those presents that were just like, why? All right, so now I have a little pocket for my glasses. It's pretty small. And now we have the hook. So let's just put the hook opposite the glasses. And so now I kind of know where I want, where things are going. I probably would have put this in the seam right here, you know? So let's hide the fact that we planned it all along that we were gonna sew it like this. Let's clean up this mess here. That's the kind of threads we don't want to pull. Right? We don't want the decades of style thing. All right, so what I'll do maybe is make it so that it naturally wants to hang down when it's done. Let's enclose that. Why does it sound so rough? See, that would be better in the seam. You bought some new. That's funny. Oh, thanks, Ray. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. So now I can hook it to the thing. I think that's a good diameter. You know? That's the sound of laundry going into the bog. God, I keep forgetting to buy overall clasps for my yantas. Maybe I'll try that Maker's Fabric Place again. All right, handles and the loop. Okay, so here's our loop. So, and also I was thinking that we might want like a little piece of elastic if this becomes a problem. It kind of hangs down kind of low, you know? But I did this for this travel bag that I designed. You had a little piece of elastic, you could hook it so that it stayed out of the way. All right, Barbara. Have a good night. Don't work too hard. I hope it's like a book club meeting with wine or something. Yeah, exactly, Nancy. Maybe I'll just see if that bugs me before I add something down here. Just need something, you know, like a little piece of elastic that you can kind of go. And then it holds it down there, you know? Okay. So the loop. So let's see if this is going to do this? So I think one thing I would do if I wanted to really keep over engineering this is I would put this stiffener in 2 halves so that it did this. And then now I can hang it on the wall. I want to hang it upside down. I guess I could hang it like this, but I feel like the bottom would poke out. You know? Am I over engineering it by doing that? Probably. You know? Why do I want the loop at the bottom? Maybe what I want is like this. This would be the fastest way. Right? Yeah, the little hook's made of wood. Yeah, so, but I'd need to have 2, one on this side and one on this side. I just feel like that's a little over-engineered. I want it to lay flat against the wall. What if I did this and hung it up against the wall like that? The handle, meanwhile, is over here. So I can't just hang it like this. It's too big. Maybe I hang it like this. I could put a loop here and hang it like that. Hey, Terry. How's it going? Where do I want that? Meanwhile, let's look and see how much fabric I have. It's not much. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't have enough fabric. The wooden hook is for putting it on the dryer opening, holding it there like this so that I can fill my laundry basket. Oh, nice, Terry. What are you making? Are you making like good food? Like food for you? You often think over engineering is the point. Well, I mean, I do admit like the simple designs usually take the most engineering. I really wanted fabric handles. So I think I'm going to use my fabric handles, and if I don't like how short they are, I can always add a longer handle. Take these off and put longer handles. So let's think about the hook idea. Like here, maybe right here. Yeah, we'll put these, we'll just line these up with the edge of the facing here. Ooh, I like that idea, Michelle. Like the buckle. Ooh, Terry, that sounds good. I made tamale pie on Monday and I made lasagna. And now we've already eaten both. Usually my husband does a lot of the cooking, but I've been trying to chip in. I just make all my things in one day. That sounds way better. Cheddar, I love cheddar biscuits. I'll eat anything as a biscuit though. Was the Cajun part spicy? I'm kind of a wimp when it comes to spicy stuff. I bet you couldn't guess that about me. I'm teasing. I'll bet you were like, yeah, that's no surprise. I ripped this handle off the bag because it wasn't in the right place earlier. Probably should have just put the pocket on the outside since I can see the stitching. It's not very noticeable though, but you know. It's the weirdest tote bag ever. All right, here's my, here we go. Let's see here. Let's do this like 5 inches from the seam. Wait, 5 and 5? No. 4 and 4. Yeah, 4 and 4, right? This chalk will be here for the rest of its life. Not too spicy, are they? That's funny. Michael can eat spicy stuff, but not me. I don't like being in pain when I eat. But you know what's really funny is I can eat very hot food temperature-wise. You know? So like right out of the oven, I'm eating it. If it's napalm, I can eat it. And Michael cannot do that. Neither can Cricket. They wait. And when we would order cappuccinos, like Michael and I, you know, we'd be at a coffee shop, order a cappuccino. And he's the type of person that just drives me nuts because he's very polite and he'll let me order first. And then he goes to order and he has found something truly scrumptious on the menu that I didn't see. So now I'm already irked. I'm like, well, that sounds good. I wanted that, you know. And then on top of that, he gets his thing and he doesn't eat it. Or like me, I'll get a cappuccino or whatever, you know, and I drink it right away. And he starts drinking his like when I'm done with mine. He's like, it's just too hot. I'm like, no, yours is too cold. So I'm all done, and he's just getting started, and then he's eating this thing or drinking this thing that looks so good that I didn't even order. I'm like, dang it. Come on. There we go. I kept missing the thread. It's like a perspective thing or something. All right, let's see. So now I remember that it's the handle, I'm pretty sure needs to be 12 inches long, high. Is that what it is? To go over the shoulder. I think I'm mixing up that measurement with something else because you know, like you know when you want to make a bow on something, a bow takes a lot of ribbon, and so you got to be careful if you're designing a bow on something that you're not pricing yourself out of something, you know, like twine or packaging. Like say you're one of those Etsy sellers who makes things look pretty in your packaging, and then you're like, dang, this stuff's starting to cost a lot. So, right, Michelle? Exactly. Oh, that's interesting, Nancy. Yeah, me too, Nancy. I feel like I have burned the inside of my throat many times now. Because sometimes when I drink really hot coffee, and you know what, Nancy? My coffee's so hot, it gives me the hiccups. Do you ever have that? Like, I get one hiccup. I'll take a drink, swallow, get a hiccup, and I hate that. I don't know why, but I hiccup. And it's like the kind of the rudest thing in the morning to hiccup. My machine feels a little weird right now. It's making me a little nervous. All right, got all these threads. Okay, so my last thing. This is a long enough handle to use, right? Like this. This is fine, you know? Right, Mrs. Necro? Hot coffee. I'll be literally playing a video game, drinking mint tea, and burning myself drinking it, you know? I can't even focus. I don't know why I do that to myself. Okay, so I don't want to hang on the wall like this because it's just kind of clunky, right? It's a big bag. Ooh, but I am loving the shape of this. I'm loving the shape, and it's very basketish. It's bigger than my current basket, and I think when it's full, it's going to stand up. Look at the lining's baggy, though. And that's because of this thing happening down here. Because it's not turning at the seam right here. It's turning right here. Yeah, exactly, Nancy. You have the volume turned down. It's funny. Yep, just reading the subtitles. All right, so that's just this hanging loop I'm thinking about right now, and then my new basket is done. I'm gonna have to take some, I don't know how, but I'm gonna take some pictures of me using it. Our laundry is in our pantry. I guess that's a good way to put it. And our coffee station is in there too, so it's a little tight. I think normal people would have put a table where our coffee station is, but we put a coffee station. Okay. Here's my hook. All right, so say I'm done, and I just want to quickly put this away. What do I do? Like that. I think that's what I would do. I think Michelle has a good idea, though. What if it buckled together right here? The handle does stick out. That one probably would too. Let me see if I have some weird stuff. Weird stuff. Oh, geez. I have not fallen once on stream. Once? Not at all. Not at all. Okay. Buckles. This is literally my weird stuff drawer. I have these. Look at how old this is. Swim Aid nose clip. This was in my grandmother's knitting basket, and it had these. She must have used these as stitch markers, curtain rings. I wish my mom just saw that part of the stream just now. Thanks for subscribing. Whoever I just missed it. Is that Clara? Thanks for subscribing. Why are the alerts off? Oh, come on. Oh. No, Ray, you already did that today. Oh my gosh. Ray, you already did that today. It's the same day. You don't do it on Saturday then. So, I didn't get the alert for the person though. Sorry. Sorry, Clara. welcome. Thanks, Ray. Okay. I have, this hooks. I was just going to put a little soft loop so it kind of goes flush with the bag, If I do one of these, I'd have to make a strap to hold it on. Same here. Look at these. I can't remember what these were, but I feel like I gotta use them for something. Ray's very generous. You add a little bit of cocoa to your coffees, but it's not too super sugary. That's cool. Okay, let's put these over here. I'm gonna try my little loop. That way, if I don't use it, it's not something clanging around on the bag. I can always add it later. You did do this earlier. I can prove it. Wait. Did you not? I thought you did. That was yesterday. I'm not your mother. I'm the boss of you. You guys are funny. All right. Do those need to be trimmed or pulled out? Okay. This was I just got lucky with this fabric, Terry. This was for a bag trial that I didn't use. But it doesn't look so good under the camera. I was talking about this earlier. I love the way this looks under the camera. It looks so good. Like, what were we cutting the other day? And it just doesn't look good under the camera, So I put a little loop here. I don't know, you guys. Maybe I do it on the bottom so I don't see it. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I think if I were to cut and sew one of these again, I would sew it first. This way, if I don't use it, because I can make the loop like this, right? Just flush with the bottom like that, right? And then another one over here. If I don't end up using this, no one will ever see it. It'll be on the bottom of the bag. But this way, this can hang up on my wall flat. The basket's kind of in the way right now. And my brooms could hang in front of it. Well, actually not, but that's okay. I have another spot for it. Our days together just fly by. Totally. Yeah. I would really like it if this could just do one like this. Cinch it together. Like that, Oh, God. I hear Michelle saying, be careful pulling those threads. Remember what happened on the Decades of Style dress? She's absolutely right. That wasn't pretty. Okay. Don't you hate when you're cutting like this? A little nerve-wracking, right? Make it a nice big loop. Have you ever done these little tiny loops and then you struggle to get it on anything? All right, I'm going to make it a nice big loop. Make it the same size. So that like, if you don't make them the same size, then one will hang on the hook and the other one will hang above it like this. Have you ever done that? No, I didn't, Mrs. Necro. But my friend Rachel, Oak Blue Designs, she commented, she sent me a DM on Instagram yesterday. She goes, you know what? I've actually been thinking about that same thing. Because apparently there is a bag a bag, a kit. Not a kit, a pattern, and then they sell the wire. And she said, you know, there's some lunch bag or something she has that she's took the wire out of. And she was thinking about doing the same thing. Ooh, I don't like this. Look at my needle, my pin bent. Rubbish, man. I never used to have that happen. Actually, no, I want to go this way. That was the sewing fairy telling me. I'm going to go this way, and then I'll go back on it that way. So that way, when it's not in use, it sits flush with the bag. But then when I use it, I pull it back. Okay? That's my plan. And I'm going to do it straight across from itself and a little away from this edge so that my presser foot can actually get by that curve. It's a trial. Exactly, Mrs. Necro. I mean, that's the thing is, like, I know none of you have that wooden hook I'm using. It was just that one left from that project, but then that's why I was giving you guys not that you're making a laundry basket. No one else is probably doing this. I just need to get this positioned. All right. Oh wow, I thought for sure I went through all layers. I didn't. Perfect. All right, so let's just push this like this. And no, we unthreaded the needle. I say we, I know, it's not you. Yeah. All right. Make sure I'm not catching any in the bag. I've done more seam ripping on this bag today than I have on any project lately, right? I'm doing that Friday Sews video thing again tomorrow. I don't know what I'll talk about. Oh, I just got the dinner at 6:45 text. Well, that was a little crooked, huh? Oh, shoot. I went a little too far. I missed my thing right here. I went right next to it. It didn't backstitch. Good thing my finger wasn't in the way. All right, I think we're done. You guys are going to get to see my laundry room, which is so far from spectacular, but you'll see now my logistical things I'm working with. Oh, cool, Nancy. Bag with bunny ears on the bottom. Exactly. All right, so let's see if I can do it right. So then, yeah. So I do, right, wait. Yeah, like this and like this. I did it on the wrong end. Oh, wait. No, I just need to let it go the other way. Okay, so I think that's what it is. Okay, I need to fold it this way. Like that. And then I can hang it on the wall. Oh, it's kind of far from the edge. Look at that. I barely have room. So, yeah, it's every Friday, Ray. I need water. Quick. I probably won't do every single Friday, but I'll do it when it works out. There's a lot of them. Yeah, exactly. So if you just type in the YouTube search bar Friday Sews or hashtag Friday Sews as one word, you'll come up with a bunch. So the person who started it is Jen's Sewing Room, I think. And there's a bunch of people, but the other two people that were doing the Friday Frugal Frocks sew along was the Yorkshire Sewing Girl, Lass. And then the other one was Frugalissima. A lot of these people started their channels in October, and now they're like, whoa, this is getting big. So the other thing about these Friday sews is that it's a vlogging style of a sewing channel. And that is completely new to me. And so what I like about this is when Beverly turned me onto it, I was like, I don't know, Beverly, I don't chat like that. Like I don't really feel like people come to me for that kind of content. And because she originally was like, Sammy, I really think that you might enjoy this and you could meet other YouTubers that do sewing, which is what I've been wanting to do. And she said, and they'd probably love to have an educator in the group. And I was like, wait a minute. I mean, I know that's what I do here, but I don't know why, but I guess I figured everybody who did sewing on YouTube was teaching stuff. I'm so silly sometimes, I guess in the back of my head I knew that wasn't true. So when you start watching them, it's so cool. Like so Friday Sews is specifically kind of like this sewing / blog a little more personal and conversational. And my first one was pretty short. It was like 13 minutes, and I would really like to keep them like 10 minutes or shorter. I feel like that'll kind of go all over the place depending on what I talk about. So in my first one, I just said, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is where I live. And I talked a lot about where I lived. It was like half that. And that's kind of what people say. They're like, oh, look at all the daffodils are blooming or whatever. Or I went fabric shopping. I got to see fabric friends or whatever, And so it's kind of this mix. And it is kind of interesting. And there's a lot of them. And what I recommend is doing this playback speed thing. So, but it is kind of cool. And I love the comment sections. They're really good. Everyone's really nice. But there's like hundreds of them probably now. I don't know. There's a lot of them. Maybe there's not hundreds because I guess I assume that everybody has a YouTube channel, but they don't. So anyway, I'm going to do one tomorrow. I liked it. And then if I don't have anything to talk about. So, oh, did you watch it, Nancy? Nice. Cool. I'm glad. You knew all that stuff about me though, right? It wasn't new to you. My friend, so you sometimes see my friend here in the channel, and I game with him occasionally. And he actually messaged me. He was like, I loved that Friday Sews video you did. Like, I loved the thumbnail, and I loved how different it was from all the other things. And that was really interesting to hear that from him. And I was like, I guess maybe I don't realize how, like, and it's true. Like, when I look at the Friday Sews things, it's kind of cool. At first I was like, I don't know about the personal thing. The personal thing makes me a little uncomfortable, but it doesn't have to be that personal. And it is it's more conversational and relaxed and kind of sweet, So, and he was like, I just love the thumbnail too, because I never put my face on my thumbnails like everybody else does. So, right, Ray? Exactly. Yeah, so let me know what you think. But, it is a totally different style. So if you're into the tutorials and the educational and less babble, it is not for you. Oh, that's cool, Nancy. Yeah, and I think doing my first one on the week that the podcast came out it was hard to tell why that video did so good. But did I show you guys that? Let me see if I can pull it up. I don't think I did. I don't think because I think I totally forgot to show you guys this, but you gotta check this out. So I uploaded that video, and then I went back. It's not this. I went back to look for something. Oh, I needed a video link. I needed a video link on my channel, so I opened up my bookmark on my thing, and this, look. Do you see the confetti? Look. Did you see it? This is on my YouTube page on the creator thing. I didn't even see that. See you, Nancy? So, maybe YouTube's done other things like that. So, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny because, and it was basically like, this video has done better than any other video you've uploaded in the amount of time it's been uploaded, which was like the first few hours, 7 hours. So, thanks, Nicole. I was really nervous. In fact, I almost deleted it. I did delete the first one. And I uploaded that. It was all ready to go, and I almost deleted it. So, thank you for saying that. Yeah, so anyway. And the comments on it, like a couple of them made me teary-eyed. I actually screenshot one and sent to my friend because it was about age, and I was just like, oh my God. So, hello, Mike. How's it going? My husband's name's Michael. Bye, Florentine. Oh, Florentine, go to bed. Go to bed. I'm not worth losing sleep over. I'll see you on Saturday. All right, guys, I'm going to head out, though. It's my dinner time soon. I got to be home in 15 minutes, apparently. But I have a new laundry bag. Yay, laundry basket. Whoa. Yeah. I think that's a good size. So, I'm excited. And I wrote some notes down, and I do need to do a few other things probably to that. So, anyway. Oh, thanks, Florentine. That's nice. People are always like, you're so much nicer than me when I get someone snarky in the channel. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty snarky. You just don't see that side of me. All right, well, everybody go eat dinner, go to bed, whatever you're doing this evening. So, maybe. I don't know. I'll see you Saturday, 11 a.m., if you want to sew the Annie cardigan with me. And then tomorrow there'll be an uploaded video. And I'm recording the next design and manufacturing series 1 because I want to finish that series soon. So, yes, take care, fellow sewing enthusiasts. All right, I will see you guys Saturday. Bye.